So let's go to your second protocol, the one that you've closed. 249, that is. So add exergy alignment protocol for window placement control. So this is the last one that I've personally talked about on my channel. This one, what were you doing differently with this one?
This one was basically to address the no global coordinate system argument. So for this window, you are setting all your coordinates relative to another window. So you are saying, take this as a reference window, and then put that other window from the origin of that reference window at the top left. Put that at coordinate x, y, like 400, 200 or something to the bottom left or something like that. And that was for placement, if there is already a window, and for initial window placement, it had a relative system where you could say, please place my initial window, or place this particular window at the top of the screen, left, right, bottom, center. And so you have, for example, for GIMP, you could say, place my initial toolbar window at the top center of the screen, and then you could position all your other windows in relation to that existing window.
Which I would imagine would require quite a bit of porting effort, because that's not the way that applications typically are sort of think to work.
Yes. It would also kind of enforces a construction order for Windows, so you need to make sure that one shows up first.
Right. Yeah.
Which surprisingly is an issue, actually. And it's also way less flexible. So I was playing a bit with potentially seeing how an implementation would look like, and looking at Quinn's code for that, because I'm mostly familiar with C++ and have seen Quinn's code before. So and WL roots and Sway looked a bit bit more incredible. It's also it's not a tile, it's not a stacking window manager. So yeah, and so the problem with that protocol is you still break all backwards compatibility, and you still cannot actually implement all of those cases that the existing applications are able to do. For example, with your with the case of having that scientific app, you can't tell it put it on the second monitor at that position. It just doesn't work like that.
Right.
You also can't okay, that's more a point for the session management protocol, but you can't save positions and restore positions and put stuff in relation to that. It's basically restricting the ability of the window of the application to put position as windows artificially, breaking backwards compatibility, and kind of solving no issues really. It's just basically adding porting issues while not addressing all of the problems. So that is pretty much why I closed it. Because while implementing it, I found that there are so many edge cases where applications just wouldn't work, and where there just would be so much more effort involved to not just port it, but to even make UI concepts continue to work that had been existing before. So that's why ultimately I don't think that's a great solution. I might go it still breaks tiling window managers, so it doesn't even benefit the tilers. So you basically have a ton of effort for very little gain. So yeah,
go on.
Yeah, I tried an implementation, and yeah, it's not fun.
I'm not sure if it was from this one or the previous one, but someone brought up the idea of being able to group windows together and then moving the entire thing as a group, as another idea of how applications could be interacted with that a protocol like this could possibly deal with.
Yeah, that is the newest protocol, kind of.
Well, it might be supported in the newest one, but it was mentioned by someone in one of the older merge requests, which I would imagine is sort of part of why that was brought up in the new one.
I actually like that idea. I don't know what I would use it for. but I'm sure people will find a way.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be like a composite, like just having that as like an option in the compositor. You want to like move an entire, you have something set up on one monitor. You want to move that entire group to another monitor, for example. Like that, I could see that being completely reasonable.
Yeah, I could see that to be like actually super useful. Like also to move not just between windows, but also between workspaces. If you have multiple virtual desktops, you can just move a whole cluster of windows from one to another. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that's one thing actually that would work on a tiler. I find myself, I am very heavy on workspace use. I don't like having that many things on each workspace. So being able to like move, a group of things somewhere else would certainly be nice. But this,
I am.
Yeah,
I'm not a tiling window manager user, but I'm a really heavy workspace user. That is essential. I think I need them, but I like to use them because I like to have less stuff on like one screen, and then I just switch between them.
Yeah. And then you just forget which workspace you have things on, and
yeah,
you're like, oh, I have 3 web browsers open. How did that happen?
Yeah, for that, I think I only ever have one. I say while currently having 2 open. So yeah.
I have an excuse to have 2 open. I have one open for the Jitsi window, one open for the things I'm showing on the screen. But sometimes it gets a lot worse. But like my file manager, for example. Like I'll open a file manager on one workspace, check something there, and then I forget to close it, and I go somewhere else, I need a file manager again. I'm like, okay, open another one, then I do something again, open another one. By the end of the day, I don't know how I have so many file managers open. I just forget where all of the other ones were. But,
That's a problem, I know. And it's especially jarring because Dolphin, the KDE file manager, remembers your last tab configuration. So everything that was open, it restores.
Yep.
But of course, if you have like multiple windows, it remembers the last window. So whatever I closed last, which usually is a window with like some random system directory, it opens the next time. So and usually that's not what I want. I want like my previous open projects or something like that. So I have this weird routine now where I make sure to like have one of my actual configuration that I want to save open last, which is yeah.